Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Check, 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 check. Think we're good. Not like it matters, says Hito 609. You might be right in your assessment. I know it looks a little bit different. I'm standing in my basement. They say sitting down is the new smoking. If you sit down a lot, it's not good for your health. So you should be standing up. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stand up for a little bit. Been sitting down all day, been making shorts, working on content. And since I've been doing that, it hasn't been that healthy. Babe, are you busy? Thank you for being here. Feels a little awkward. I am standing up again, but it feels good. And let's get right to the show and what we want to talk about today. We had a recap in the morning, had like 25 thumbs up, has 7 voicemails. Did YouTube care about that? No, because now it says we only have like 2 thumbs up, which kind of sucks. But nonetheless, the topic of discussion for today is Sean O'Malley the biggest star in the UFC? And not only that, will Sean O'Malley actually pick Chito Vera as his worthy opponent for his next fight? Because, again, when you have the title, you get to essentially, in a way, call the shots. Give me 1 second, guys. Again, bring me. Give me 1 second. All done. Is Sean O'Malley the biggest star in the UFC, and will he fight Chito Vera next? Well, that's something we were talking about earlier today in the morning podcast. But then we have word from Sean O'Malley in his podcast. I was watching earlier today, and it said, just the way he acts, he's so annoying, he's not funny, and he tries to be. He's so ugly. He dresses like an idiot. It's like, God, do I really have to give this guy an opportunity? So my question to you guys is, if you're Sean O'Malley, do you pick Marlon Vera first? Because another option that you could have out there is Henry Cejudo. Imagine you knock out Henry Cejudo and you beat him in a more impressive fashion than Aljamain Sterling was able to do. Henry Cejudo wasn't able to get Sterling out of there. Imagine Sean O'Malley, after taking out Aljamain Sterling, he takes out Henry Cejudo as well too. An Olympian. Sean O'Malley showed his great defense. Imagine he sparks him with a 1-2. Imagine he times Henry Cejudo, who's like 5'3". It gets a little interesting. Daniel Berry, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here. And then Curtis Williams with the silver glove. Thank you for signing up this past week. And he says Sean O'Malley said he wants to fight Tank Davis. That's another option, maybe even a viable option out there. He might say, you know what? I want to make some Conor McGregor money. I already made a replay sort of like Conor McGregor, right? You see a lot of guys, even Conor McGregor himself, admitting that the Sean O'Malley knockout against Aljamain Sterling was similar somewhat to the knockout that Conor McGregor was able to have against Jose Aldo when he became double champ. It was very reminiscent, right? Evaded a big shot of the opponent and landed a big one of his own. And next thing you know, now he's a champion. And again, arguably, let me bring up right now real quick. I have been saying if someone could convince me otherwise, you can call in at 267-545-8096. But is Sean O'Malley the biggest star in the UFC? Because to me, let's look at any other name. Volkanovski might be the only one that I might give credit to and say, you know what, he's a bigger star. And maybe Israel Adesanya is another worthy candidate. But Pantoja isn't a bigger star than Sean O'Malley. And Pantoja, again, he is a champion, but again, nowhere near the sale value of Sean O'Malley. Islam Makhachev, arguably one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world right now. They have him at number 3. Does his next pay-per-view card sell more than Sean O'Malley's next pay-per-view card if they're not on the same one together? It's just the question that I've been asking. Yo, Daniel's in the building. What's up, Daniel? What do you think? Sean O'Malley's a bigger star? I see from the votes we have Sean O'Malley's next opponent. You guys voted Marlon Vera for a 75%, Henry Cejudo for a 12%, 12% for someone else. I would love to see who they name because it could potentially be Aljamain Sterling if he wants the rematch. We're about to get to the next voicemail in a second. And let's see what we have here. I don't want to dox anybody, but we do have a voicemail. 1 second. Are things that come up that are just unfortunate. Apologize. Had to. All right. Let's get to the next. I hope I can fit these headphones while standing up. But let's get to our very first voicemail of the night. I'm so used to saying morning sometimes. Now here we go. We have a voicemail from a 609 number. Let's hear it.
This is Heath of 609. I just want to talk about Dana White, man.
Here we go.
Picking favorites.
Picking favorites because meritocracy-wise, we might say it should be Corey Sandhagen next, or it should be Henry Cejudo. It should be essentially, if Aljamain Sterling wants a shot, should be Aljamain Sterling. So let's see what Hito 609 has to say. This is interesting that he chooses to talk about Dana White.
It's becoming so obvious. At least try to hide it a little bit. It's like Dana White will tell a reporter, "Hey, we're not going to schedule fights the night of the fight."
Remember, he has said that before. I forget who won a fight that he said we don't make fights the day of. But then Colby Covington when he was asked Dana White on who Leon is going to fight next, he immediately said Colby Covington will be next, which is interesting, right? He has contradicted himself.
We don't do that stuff. How many times have you heard him say that? And then Ian Gary, we already talked to Wonder Boy. He turned it down. What the fuck happened to not schedule?
And I got a couple interesting things to say about that too. I just made a short about it.
Fight night of, and now all of a sudden you're coming at Wonder Boy because he turned it down the night of.
Snipey, bigger star makes the UFC the most money. Basically, my question, and you guys can call in 267-545-8096, share your thoughts. My question to you is, who's a bigger star after this Saturday? Not before, but the next pay-per-view, if maybe you could exclude Conor McGregor, is there anybody else out there that's outsells Sean O'Malley besides a Conor McGregor on his return, is my question. Or will Sean O'Malley now be the biggest seller, the biggest name in the UFC?
And you see obviously what he's doing with Sugar. It's almost kind of making me not like these guys, to be honest with you, just because of how hard Dana's pushing. Nobody likes the teacher's pet, and Dana's kind of forcing them to make them look like the teacher's pet.
So are you admitting that maybe Paddy Pimblett, one of your favorite fighters, is a teacher's pet? Because maybe that's something you're unwillingly admitting, right? Ian Gary, I think, shot himself in the foot, and we could talk about him a little bit more. Again, 267-545-8096. Ian Gary, in a sense, shot himself in the foot because, over talking Neil Magny, saying you can't speak during a press conference, I think Ian Gary rubbed people the wrong way as far as the way he was interrupting. Ian Gary was interrupting Neil Magny. And he essentially is going to be one of those fighters that the UFC tries to push, right? Young, Irish. You need more stars. Sean O'Malley, again, we've never seen the UFC after pay-per-view. They released a fight the very next day, even within 24 hours. The whole second round is on their page. When has the UFC done that for a fighter before, is my question.
The teacher's pet. I don't know, man. Those are vibes I'm getting. Dana's being weird. Chill out.
Thank you for the call, Hito 6 09. Let's catch up with chat before we talk a little bit more UFC. Yeah, rankings don't matter at all. Rankings are just some stuff for sports media to talk about. I 100% agree. So, even though there's champions that have defended the title quite more often than Sean O'Malley, the question remains that we'll continue with is Sean O'Malley the biggest star in the UFC right now? My argument is yes. Scory LOL says, a rematch doesn't seem too bad if Aljo wants it. He should get it. He deserves it. Well, let me tell you this. Jose Aldo, after losing to Conor McGregor, you can say Jose Aldo had done more for the company than Conor McGregor until that point. You can say that Jose Aldo deserved a rematch against Conor McGregor. Now, many people's arguments are, well, you know what? He got knocked out. He doesn't deserve a rematch. And I'm going to touch back to Aljamain Sterling right now. But is the argument...
Payday. You want payday.
And of course, Hito's favorite fighter in the world. His I'm sure Hito has a poster somewhere in his room. Maybe when he lays down, it's right on the ceiling where he can see, where he has a Paddy Pimblett jersey. I'm sure of it. He says, "Shut your effing mouth about Paddy."
Yo, shout out the season, man. Shout out the season, man.
I have never met someone that loved Paddy Pimblett more than Hito PR1. A rematch doesn't seem too bad if Aljo wants it. He should get it. He deserves it, in my opinion. He's done enough in the division, in my opinion, as well, too, Scory. That's the thing. He has about, 4 to 5 title defenses. Speaking of Aljamain Sterling, he's done enough. He's paid his due. Now, again, there's plenty of arguments of why you can say that he doesn't. Not that I agree with this, but one of the arguments that I will hear, or that I expect to hear, Scory, is one, well, he beat Petr Yan the first time, but it was because of a illegal knee, a DQ. So that didn't really count. Then he beat a TJ Dillashaw, and Dillashaw was compromised. He had an injury. So you could almost not give him credit for that. The Henry Cejudo fight was somewhat close. The Petr Yan even rematch was close as well, too. So he wasn't the best of champions. He lost by knockout. It's not like the fight was close. He got TKO'd. So why give him the rematch? Now, I can counter argue that and say, well, listen, Colby Covington, in his first fight when he got TKO'd, Mark Goddard stopped the fight maybe early, but at the end of the day, he got TKO'd. But at least that fight went to the 5th round. So again, I would say Sterling deserves a shot. He talked about Volkanovski after the fight, saying, listen, after that performance, I can see why maybe I shouldn't fight Volkanovski. He might be too much for me. Do you guys think, and we're thinking out loud here on the Night podcast, it's fun to do, it's fun to stand up and get the blood going a little bit. My question to you guys is, should Aljamain Sterling want the rematch? 267-545-8096 if you want to call in and share your thoughts. Let's catch up with chat. John Jones, if you want to talk about pay-per-view buys. Does it matter who John Jones fight first? Do you think John Jones versus like a Pavlovich sells more than Sean O'Malley Chito Vera rematch when there's already history behind that fight? Think John Jones Curtis Blade sells more? A Tom Aspinall John Jones?
Just payday. You want payday. I know that.
And another donation by Hito is 609 says, pay Miller his 20 and I'll change it. Till this day, Trey Melton, maybe a surprise caller, or he calls in if he wants to call in, he can call in as well too. But I don't know if we should allow him to. Till this day, he owes me $20 and I still have not gotten paid. That's a little bit frustrating. I could use the $20. I just bought some Spanish food and I spent like about $16 on a meal for myself. It'll be nice if that was on Trey since he owes me money. Izzy sells more than O'Malley? Izzy versus who sells more than O'Malley? Izzy versus Drickus, I would say yes. If that's the route you want to go with, then I would agree. Israel Adesanya versus Drickus sells more than Chito Vera versus Sean O'Malley because there's history behind it. But then again, I don't know how we project how well Sean O'Malley does, because that knockout was a career-changing knockout. That knockout, again, the overused example, that knockout was similar, very similar to Conor McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo. You saw the career of Conor McGregor and where it went from there going upwards, his trajectory after knocking out Jose Aldo. In a sense, essentially, that knockout for for Sean O'Malley was the same. Dana White has to pick a big draw, says Curtis Williams. Big money fights because for the first time in a few years, boxing is actually getting popular again. Maybe some worthy opponents will get the short end of the stick. Again, another thing I wanted to bring about Dana White is, do you think Dana White and the UFC would have put up, let's say Sterling got the second round knockout this past Saturday, you think they would have released that and put that as a video? Absolutely not. What does that tell me? At least they're trying to back, they're trying to push, they're trying to create a superstar, and they'll get behind that horse and try to take it as far as they can take it. That's what they're doing with Sean O'Malley. Now, my question to you guys is that a wrong thing to do? Because they need superstars. I feel like we were a little bit ahead of almost everyone that was talking about it. We've been saying for a while, at least I've been, when I would look at the UFC rankings, I would say there's nobody really out there that is almost a must-see type fighter, a pay-per-view fighter that you want to see no matter what. Now, Israel Adesanya might be getting close to that after his win against Alex Pereira. I thought that was a huge win. But nobody's stopping the microwave to see Pantoja. I'm sorry. Nobody was stopping the microwave to check out what Aljamain Sterling is about to do. Makhachev, maybe versus Oliveira, the rematch does well, but after the first one, I don't know if it sells the best. Leon Edwards, even though the headshot dead, I feel like it was like a 15-second clip. I still think he fails. Maybe against Colby Covington does well, but I feel like he still hasn't really attained the attention of most fans. If you ask someone walking down the street, again, who is Leon Edwards, they might not be able to tell you. So they were struggling. Jamal Hill, you see the injury that he has suffered. He's going to be out for a while. John Jones is probably the only one alive besides a Conor McGregor that it almost doesn't matter who they fight, they're going to sell well. But besides that, in my opinion, they were struggling to make superstars. Now you have Hamzat Chimaev climbing up the ranks. Dricus, what he did to Robert Whittaker against Israel Adesanya is a massive fight. Colby Covington, at the end of the day, he's the heel, but people want to see what they do. Maybe he sells well, but I think they needed Sean O'Malley almost more than Sean O'Malley needed the UFC. And that's why you see them on their page. You see them putting the whole second round. You can watch it for free. Doesn't matter if me and you paid $85. Since Sean O'Malley won, let's give this for free to the masses on YouTube. They've never done that before, unless you guys could point me into a direction where that has happened. Let's catch up with the chat. Tell Hito to change his mother effing picture. What is his picture? Is that that is Trey? Hito's a living legend. I mean, when you pay me my 20, maybe I'll tell him. I don't owe Miller a daggone thing. That is incorrect. John Jones did 1 million with Gane, but Gane beat what was the last big win that he had? No, he actually lost against Francis Ngannou. So you got somewhat of a point. You might be right. It might be John Jones. You bunch of fanboys stay on my Johnson, says Trey Mountain. Miller standing up, and we can't even tell. It's a stand-up desk, all right? So I put my camera up. If not, you would only see me here. I'm about 6'4", by the way. Miller standing up, and we can't even tell. He needs a $20 for Taco Bell, though. He had to announce it, and we still didn't know. Horizon fan, what's up, my favorite UFC podcaster? What's up, my guy, Horizon? The man, the myth, the legend. 267-545-8096. You can call in live. I'm not even going to make you do a voicemail. If you call in, we'll have a good back and forth conversation, and we'll save it to about 3 minutes or so. And if the conversation is good, it will be longer. If it's someone like Trey where he doesn't really have any good points to say, then we'll just cut the conversation short. It's known Izzy don't sell. Israel Adesanya's pay-per-view numbers. Let's see if we can find something online. Let's see if Trey for once is somewhat accurate. Let's see. Pay-per-view bouts. Here we go. Pay-per-view bouts for Adesanya. 234 were 175,000. Damn, that's abysmal. Not disclosed. Not disclosed. In other words, they were probably horrible. Against Costa was 700K. Against Blachowicz, when he was trying to go up in weight to get another title, so I can see why it's 800,000. It was 800,000. Against Vettori 2, 600,000. Against Whitaker, Cannonier, Pereira, and Pereira Adesanya 2 was not disclosed. Maybe we can find the numbers for that. But I will say, I believe, and again, maybe a hot take, Chito Vera versus Sean O'Malley beats 263, 259, 250, 263. Definitely 234. So you might be right. We have ourselves a caller from the 732 area code. Let's see who we have.
Call from
Tito 609.
Here we go. Let's see what we have here. I almost didn't accept. Hito in the building. What's up, bro?
Hey, so this whole Sean O'Malley like superstar thing that you're on is ridiculous. And the fact that you keep defending him is wild to me. Because point number one, obviously John Jones is going to do bigger numbers than him. Him against Gon, who nobody knows, it did over 1 million. What do you think is going to be him and Stipe? What do you think they're going to do? Sugar's not touching that. And then how about this? If Sugar Sean is such a superstar, why do you have Vera beating him?
All right, so
is it superstar for one fight that's still 500K? What does the superstar mean to you? You don't even have him winning.
Okay, so you came out the gate swinging. I'll give you that. Oh my God, anyways, you came out the gate swinging. Let me first say this: are you really excited for Jones versus Stipe?
Yeah, I think so. I'm excited for that. Absolutely.
If I had you on a polygraph test or body language test, I would say that did not sound convincing. You're really gonna stop the microwave, pay the $85 because you feel John Jones versus Stipe is gonna be a competitive fight? That gets you out of bed.
Yeah, I want to see Jones beat him.
That doesn't sound convincing. Chito Vera versus Sean O'Malley sells better than John Jones and Stipe. Here, I said it.
All right, we'll bet that. Put it. It's on fucking camera. We'll bet that. All right, that's your point. That's your point number one. What happened to point number two? Explain that to me.
Point
He's
number
superstar.
First, let me say, chat. You guys, let me know what sells better: John Jones versus Stipe, or Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera. And I'm gonna catch up with chat, Curtis Williams, A-Rod, and all that. Point number two was Sean O'Malley, and what were you saying?
You're saying Sean O'Malley is such a superstar.
Oh, and why did I pick Vera?
He's gonna win the next fight.
Why did I pick Vera? Right? Because I could explain.
Yes.
Okay. It's simple, Hito, and I know this is not the most popular opinion, but Hito, let me remind you, if you don't mind, it wasn't popular to pick Sean O'Malley to beat Aljamain Sterling, right? And I was right, right? I'm just throwing that out there. It wasn't popular to pick Derek Lewis to lose like his last four of his last 5 fights. I was correct. It wasn't popular to pick Leon Edwards to beat Usman. With all that being said, with all that being in history, I just felt that was an important reminder. Listen, Vera has good defense and he's durable, is all I'm going to say. If it goes to the 4th and 5th round.
Trey? Do you think you're talking to Trey? That's not the point. You're beating around the bush. If Sean O'Malley is such a superstar, why is he going to lose his next fight according to you? What superstar sells 500K, then loses, and is probably going to fall off after he loses? I'm not Trey. Get to the point.
Paddy Pimblett lost against Jared Gordon. He's still going to sell well. He's a draw. He's an attraction. Sean O'Malley, at the end of the day, Sean O'Malley was able. Hear me out. Sean O'Malley was able to lose or have a no contest against Pedro Munoz, to lose against Marlon Chito Vera, and because of his star power, was able to fight Piotr Jan, arguably lost that fight, and gets a title shot. Why? Not because he may be the best, although he might be. It's because he has drawing power.
Patty didn't lose.
You're not serious because you don't want to go down this rabbit hole, do you, Hito? Against Jared Gordon?
What did the record show?
Oh no, the record showed that the record showed that Sean O'Malley lost to Marlon Vera. Let me ask you this: how did he find himself to a title shot? Because of his skills? No, right?
Telling you, you're talking about superstar, and this guy is gonna have one fight, and then probably, according to you, lose the second fight, and he's gonna be he's the biggest thing in UFC right now. He's hot for 15 minutes. He's not gonna stay that long.
Oh, okay, he might be hot right now. He might have his 15 minutes. I'm not gonna dispute that. Okay, what if he wins? I'm just predicting, staying to my prediction from 7 months ago that Chito Vera is gonna fight for the title. Let's say Sean O'Malley wins. Is that good enough for you that he's the face of the UFC and the biggest fighter in the world?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, so you're not?
I think Volk. I think Volk is. I think I think that fight would do $700K, and then who does he fight next? You know what I mean? I think Volk is the one that has the best options to be the star. He can go up a weight class. He can fight a whole different crop of people. He already did well, and arguably some people beat the champ in that weight class. Imagine what he can do to everybody else in that weight class. He has way more options. Volk is definitely the superstar.
You think Volkanovski has more options than Sean O'Malley at this point in both of their careers?
Yes, absolutely. What do you mean? He can go to a different weight class. Is Sean O'Malley going up the featherweight?
No, but he hasn't cleared the division. Volkanovski has. He has Corey Sandhagen, Marlon Vera.
Snooze fest, it's a snooze fest, man.
What's a snooze fest? The what?
That division.
The bantamweight division.
Vera, who do you really want him to see fight?
Corey Sandhagen, Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, he had such a great fight. He was really selling it that last fight, huh?
I think that sells because both of them are elite strikers, and we haven't seen Sean O'Malley fight a striker like Corey Sandhagen. I think that sells well. I think the Henry Cejudo fight, because Henry Cejudo at the end of the day is somewhat of a star, and people are going to be interested in that fight. I think that sells well. I think Corey Sandhagen, Henry Cejudo, Merab. You can't give me three names that Volkanovski fights that outsells those three names.
You can fight Islam again. I'll tell it. Easy.
I don't know
He'll
if that's
fight Islam, and it'll be bigger than all three of them.
I don't know if he's gonna get that shot again. I think the UFC is a little bit worried about it.
Whatever. I agree to disagree. We took up enough time.
What was the debate that you want to put some money on? Because I would love to take your money again.
Stipe and Jones versus and
Vera
and O'Malley.
What sells better? Vera and Sean O'Malley sell better no matter what. $20 on that.
20, no problem.
All right, bet. Thank you for the call, Hito 609. I'm gonna be proven right again.
Whatever, later.
There you have it, guys. Hito 609, the man, the myth, the legend. Let's catch up with chat. The disrespect that was immediately given after my call Saturday. Oh, so you heard that. I built this channel. The caller is right. Am I on the short end of the stick on this one? You think Hito has a better point than I do? Doesn't happen often. So let's see, Horizon fan. Let me know why you feel he's right and I'm wrong. Avra says Jones would KO him in the first round. If you're speaking of Stipe, and if you're saying he's gonna KO, if Jones gonna KO Stipe, maybe that argues my point that that's why people are more excited to see the Sean O'Malley's next fight. And maybe he sells better than Jones versus Stipe. Again, I'm telling you, we've never seen the UFC go out of their way to post the second round of a knockout against a defending champion less than 24 hours before the fight. They're obviously behind, even if you want to call it this, the quote-unquote hype train. They're behind it. They're going to put everything behind it, and that's why he'll sell better. Name me two fighters in their respective divisions that sell better than Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera right now. Even better than Sean O'Malley versus Henry Cejudo. Match up two fighters in any division. The only one that comes to mind for me right now is Adesanya versus Dricus. I don't know if Makhachev and Oliveira sell that well. Jones versus Stipe is a bigger fight, says Mike Dornan.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
you might be correct in your assessment, Mike Dornan. Thank you for becoming a member and supporting the channel. You could become a member today. I put the link in the description. Helps the channel immensely. Thank you so much, Mike Dornan. Hope you're having a good day so far. I forgot that John Jones wasn't fighting Stipe. Yeah, that is not selling for real. There's not that much hype behind it. We don't know if it's still gonna happen with John Jones. You never know. All I'm saying is, hey, A-Rod25 says, bro is tripping. Sterling underestimated Sugar Sean. Then he got KO'd. Vera understands that O'Malley can end it with one punch, and Vera's ain't gonna make a rookie mistake like Sterling. Again, there's another argument that can be made here. And the other argument is, if Aljamain Sterling stuck to wrestling and fighting his own fight, the fight would have ended different. I mean, he threw a lead left straight with his chin up in the air, trying to strike with arguably one of the best strikers in the UFC, if not the best, and he got put out. It was a mistake of, in my opinion, pride and ego. It was a mistake of trying to prove a point. There were people in our chat in previous podcasts and in live stream saying Aljamain Sterling is going to come out, he's going to try to prove a point, and he's going to pay for it. And for those few that were in my company, I say to you, congratulations, you were correct. Even Aljamain Sterling said himself, if you watch any of his content, he said in his own live stream, he said, I know if I want the Volkanovski fight, I have to perform against Sean O'Malley. I can't only just win. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along those lines. I can't just win. I have to perform against Sean O'Malley. And maybe that was somewhat behind his head and the reason why he fought the way he did. And again, it cost him. What if Sterling took the Khabib approach against Conor McGregor, where he takes Conor McGregor down ground and pound? So by the time we get to the third and fourth round, even if Conor McGregor's throwing, there's not that much power behind it. Sterling made the mistake of trying to fight early, trying to strike early instead of grappling early and then striking later, and he got caught with a bomb. So A-Rod, I agree with you. Sean ain't a superstar yet. I believe you are jumping too fast. Listen. That's fair. I don't think I am, though.
I don't mean no disrespect.
I don't
mean no disrespect.
The reason I don't think I'm jumping too fast is because, again, we've never seen the UFC make or put on their page the whole round of the knockout round on their own channel that quickly. Is that fair to say? Because if that's the case, I would say, listen, they're going to put all their power behind, all their money behind Sean O'Malley, and they're invested. And again, let's see if Sterling in a few weeks, in a few days. Remember, Cejudo, he said he was going to retire, and in 48 hours, he was calling out Merab. All I'm saying, Sterling said, I'm going to have to regroup. I'm going to have to rethink. What if in 48 hours, Aljamain Sterling makes a video saying, and these are different times than Jose and Conor, and he says, I want the rematch. What if he doesn't get it? To me, if Sterling doesn't get the rematch, if he wants it, what that tells me is, oh, they're trying to build Sean O'Malley. If they give him someone other than Sterling and Sterling wants a shot, it's essentially the same thing of what the UFC did to Jose Aldo. A-Rod says O'Malley sells tickets because of his social media presence.
Call from.
That's why he could be considered a superstar, but fighting wise.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
But fighting wise, he got to beat a couple more fighters in the top 5 to be considered
shut up when I call
superstar.
in, all right? You stop talking when I call. Okay.
Trey Melton is in the building with the Rude Awakening. He picked Sean O'Malley, and wait, Trey, before you even get started, let me give you your praise. You picked Sean O'Malley this whole time. You were saying for maybe over a year on yours truly on his channel that Sean O'Malley. I mean, that's the only reason why we can go back to that, because if it wasn't for me, nobody would have even heard you in the first place. But nonetheless, you did say this whole time Sean O'Malley would be champion. You were right. Applause to you. Your 3 minutes are on the clock.
Miller, you're not going to believe this, buddy. They call me Bob the Builder around here now. You know why? Because I built this channel from the ground up for everything it's absolutely worth. Nobody would know who you were if it wasn't for me. Weekly, giving the best takes you've ever heard, giving the source, the intel,
The information you need to know that nobody else gets, nobody else is looking at. I'm breaking stuff down. I was the first one to say anything about Derek Lewis's fall. I was the first one to say anything about Sean O'Malley become a champion in the future. I see it all.
You were right about Sean O'Malley. I mean, you still haven't been proven right about Patty Pimblett.
When I'm on the phone, I get to talk. You don't interrupt me, okay? You've been talking for 45 minutes. Everybody's sick of it. Have you been reading the comments? Have you been reading the comments? They're sick of it, Miller. Okay, you stand up when you talk to me. You hear me?
Remember Bryce Mitchell and how wrong you were about that? Anyways.
Whoa. Don't you ever disrespect the man. One of only now 3 twisters in UFC history. Now 3. Okay?
Oh, my God. That's stupid stat.
There was one done
Miller.
There was one done 2 weekends ago, and you probably didn't even know about it. I bet you didn't know there was another twister. There's a black Bryce Mitchell. Did you know that?
Yes. Trey, let's get to it, Trey. What is your call for today that we're so blessed to have?
Yeah, first of all, let me say this.
Thank you for the 20 Von Blues box, and bro has officially hopped on the sugar train.
Nobody cares about any money you're getting, Miller. $20 ain't nothing, okay? People pay that for crack rocks every single day. That's a little pocket change for people, right?
Trey,
now listen to me.
Trey, if it was nothing, you would have paid me the $20 you still owe me to this day.
I don't owe you $20, Miller. You know this. You watch your daggone mouth when you're talking to me. Now let me talk. Everybody keeps interrupting me, wanting to talk on me, talk over me and everything. It's my turn. I've been gone for 4 months. I get to speak now.
You have the floor.
Now let me say this. I want to apologize to the channel. I didn't get to address something from Saturday. Something that was, honestly, it was painful to listen to, Miller. You could tell it was written out. And he could barely read. He was stuttering over his words. He didn't know what to say. He said the same word about 50 times. And then he comes on here tonight trying to cut another. Miller, since when did you get off-brand Big Lot Piggly Wiggly me on the channel in Hito? I mean, it's absolutely pitiful. The guy's trying to give a hot take. He can barely muster up the energy to get some breath up under him. I mean, are we serious
Jesus Christ.
right now? It's painful. I know y'all cupcake with each other, and I'm not trying to make fun of your boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to upset you. I know y'all are besties now, but it's absolutely sad. Second of all, here we go with this Sean O'Malley stuff again. I've already told y'all, Volkanovski is the biggest guy. He has 2 countries behind him, okay? Listen, Miller, how many times has Sean O'Malley been the co-main event? It's 2, okay? You want me to answer that for you? It's 2. How many times has he been the main event, Miller?
Twice.
Last night was his first time ever.
He wasn't the main event with Piotr Jan? Who was the main event on that card?
He was the co-main. Now, listen, miss me with all the bull crap talking about he's the star. Listen, there's guys in front of him, too, okay? You want to talk about selling pay-per-views? Clearly, John Jones. I mean, everybody knows that. Conor McGregor could sell more pay-per-views at any time more than him. Volkanovski could come up and set up more pay-per-views at any time than him.
Let me just ask you one simple question, then you could keep going on your rant that nobody really cares for. Who does Volkanovski fight next that sells better than Sean O'Malley versus Vera? I've been asking people this. No one can give me an answer. Maybe you could lead me the right direction. Give me 2. Give me 3 names, please.
Give me a top 5 real fast.
Why do I gotta give you a top 5? This is your argument.
Because when I'm on the channel, I get treated like royalty. I'm VIP. I built this channel from the top. You tell me who the top 5 is, I'm gonna ask. You say yes, sir, and start listing them off.
Look, I'll be happy to do so. Thank you for the $5. Hito PR1 says, my bad, theater boy. I don't have much practice as you. Anyways, right, the top 5.
And change your picture. This guy has pictures of me as his profile and everything. I mean, this guy wants to beat me so bad. He's got pictures of me with girls I don't even talk to anymore. I mean, this guy's serious.
What's up, Ray? Welcome to the stream. Bomb Blue, welcome to the stream. A-Rod, all the people here, give the thumbs up to the channel. Helps the channel out immensely. The top 5, to answer your question, is Max Holloway, Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega, Arnold Allen, Ilia Topuria. Again, my question remains that nobody has been able to answer. Nobody has been able to answer.
We know.
Who does Volkanovski fight next? I'm just giving you time, since you don't even know the top 5 offhand. But anyways.
Miller, you just said it. You just said it was so simple. Ilia Topuria and Volkanovski would sell more than Marlon and Sean easily. Absolutely.
There's no way, and I would put money on that, but we know your history.
Miller, let me ask you this, Miller. Let me ask you this. Do you think Sean is Sean and Cheeto is selling more than Sean and freaking Cornball Boy just did, Aljo?
Yes.
What?
Yes, absolutely. No question.
Miller, this was a way bigger fight.
100%.
Miller, this was a way bigger fight.
Sean O'Malley wasn't the global superstar that he is now until he knocked out Sterling. He was a plus 205 underdog. To win by knockout was about like a plus 600 or to win by decision. People didn't believe in him. They thought he was that guy that the UFC was trying to push, but he doesn't have the skills to pay the bills until, very reminiscent of Jose Conor McGregor, until he landed that shot in the second round and made him a global superstar. And now he sells better with Vera than Volkanovski against Ilia Topuria. Do you have anything else? Because that is clearly not a good suggestion.
Miller, that's your suggestion. We've already seen that fight with Cheeto and Sean. How did that card do?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Was that a fluke win or not?
That he was gone.
Was that a fluke win?
How'd that card do? Did that fare out pretty good? Did that sell more than this one?
Was that a fluke win or not?
I've been saying it forever, Miller.
Okay,
I mean, it's incredible, Miller. There's probably 2 days worth of footage of me just being correct about the UFC. I'm not even joking on this channel. I am serious. Of course. It was a fluke win. I've been saying it the whole time.
Okay.
He got hit. He got dead leg. He couldn't remove his leg. I mean, what are we talking about?
Trey, let me just put it out there. It was a trap question. Okay, so because it was a fluke win, to answer your question, don't you think people actually now want to see what would happen if they were to fight again? Yes or no?
Miller, it was a fluke win. Everybody knows that. Right? They're not like, oh, well, let's go prove it. It wasn't a fluke win. No, a fluke win is a fluke win. You don't care. It's a fluke win. You're like, yeah, screw you. It don't matter.
So you think people don't want to watch this fight?
Hold on. Let me prove it was a fluke win, sir. Please come fight me again. You don't owe Cheeto. Bro, Cheeto looked awful last night, Miller. You think he deserves a title shot? He looks pitiful.
Sean O'Malley didn't deserve...
Listen, Cheeto looks like the type of dude that owns a business that was successful and then says he wants to go and be homeless for a year just to see what it's like or whatever, and he doesn't shave. He looks like that type of guy.
That's fair, but again, Sean O'Malley is a global superstar now. Cheeto Vera, at the end of the day, people want to see how the fight plays out.
Wait, Miller, how much stock are you putting in Cheeto Vera? Do you think people really want to watch a fight? Nobody gives a crap about that fight. Nobody was talking about Cheeto and Pedro. Nobody could care less about that. People were talking more about Ian Gary and Neil Magny, Miller, than they were talking about Pedro and freaking what's his name? Oh, Bummy Boy. Nobody cares.
I'm confused. So what are you suggesting? That Vera also doesn't get the shot next? Do you put someone ahead of him?
I don't know if you put someone ahead of him. Here's what I'm saying.
Do you give him Cejudo? Because I promise, I wanted to bring it up before anybody else got to it. I was thinking, listen, after I don't know if you saw Sean O'Malley's quote. He was saying Vera has to be careful because he'll be lucky if I pick him. I don't have to. And you know, when you're a champion, you call the shots. Essentially, that was what Sean O'Malley said. What if he picks Cejudo and then and then fights him? Maybe that's a bigger fight than the Vera fight.
First of all, they don't want to fight Sterling back to back. They know that. Listen, here's the quote of the night, okay? And here's the only credit I'm ever going to give to Aljo because I hate that bum. He's such a freaking cornball. I can't stand him.
I'm a fan of his now.
I would pee on him if I seen him in public. That's how much I don't like him. But listen, the quote of the night was in the press conference, which I'm sure you don't even watch this because you're such a daggum casual. You just be watching the fights and then going and talking to your fanboys, blowing smoke up each other's butts all night.
Trey takes 1 minute and 47 seconds always to get to his point.
Because people want to hear
that is underwhelming always at the end. But anyways.
See, and you be butting in. Miller, this ain't one of your videos. This ain't one of your voice notes, okay? When somebody's talking, you let them talk. You don't pause it every 4 seconds so you don't get copyright. It's okay. I own these words I'm saying, all right? The quote of the night was, at the post presser, which I'm sure you don't watch because you're a casual, like I was saying, and you only watch the fight.
Made a short using footage from it, anyways.
But with you and your little fanboys in the chat, Aljo's sitting at the post presser, and he just sits there and sighs. He just exhales a little bit, and he goes, "Man, I could have made that fight so boring if I wanted to." And then he just shakes his head and says, "No excuses, though, man. No excuses." And that is the quote of the night. Thank God. With all the talk about Sean's freaking chest or whatever, his ribs or whatever was jacked up and everything, talking about he couldn't even train or spar or anything.
It was
and
a rib
people
injury.
was getting out about this. Like, are you telling me Aljo's camp didn't hear about this? Is Aljo that prideful that he had to stand there and throw with Sean O'Malley? Not to mention the matchup that Aljo had with Sean O'Malley. I mean, Aljo is Sean is hands down the tallest fighter. Aljo has fought. Knowing daggone well he can't extend against the best counter striker in the game. I mean, it's almost like he was just giving it to him on a silver platter.
God.
It was incredible. I couldn't believe it.
Trey, what are you saying, that this was scripted, that Sterling gave the win away? What are you essentially saying? Because I did make the argument that it was a little bit of pride that made Sterling strike with Sean O'Malley. What are you saying?
Here's what I'm saying. I'm the source and I know all. I'm Mr. Intel. Okay? I'm the one who gets it done.
What are you saying, Trey?
It's been scripted since March.
Oh, God,
that Sean was going to get this title. See, this is what y'all think. I just talk blindly. Y'all think I'm just randomly saying stuff without facts behind it. I know information. This is why I say stuff for so long. I knew Alex Pierre was going to come in and knock out Izzy. Okay, I knew that was going to happen. I mean, it's simple. I knew Sean O'Malley a year ago was going to come up, take his time, and be the champion.
Did call that fight. One of the few.
I told you he's the best counter striker in the UFC. How does he win the championship? With the cleanest counter strike you've ever seen.
It was beautiful, Trey. I'll give you that.
I know Ian Gary is sick to his stomach right now that everybody's showing that clip of Conor and Sean side by side. Because why is that man quoting Conor so much, Miller?
Oh, it's embarrassing. You do as you're told in the press conference. It's pretty sad.
No, it's getting sad. Seriously. I mean, I liked the guy at first, and then I saw him, cheeking up with Cheeto in the showers. I mean, I'm not sure what that was about on his IG. I'm not sure if y'all saw that. They was up in the shower taking videos together.
I mean, I seen you do stranger things in the bathroom. I don't know if you want me to put that Discord video.
The only reason it popped up on my thing was it said Miller liked this, but I didn't know what that was about. But anyways. Hey, what I do want to say is, can somebody take a screenshot real quick? Because I want to see what Miller looks like standing up next to his Miller DC sign compared to when he's sitting down. Let's see if there's a difference there, because I really don't think there is.
Huge difference, 6'4". Any last and final thoughts, Trey? It was a okay call. Thank you for filling up, 5-10 minutes of our day. I don't really think you answered my question. I don't really think you said anything of relevance. There's nobody out there that you could put with Volkanovski that sells more than Cheeto Vera versus Sean O'Malley. But any last thoughts before I hang up on you and say it was by mistake?
Oh God! Look, I'm not. Y'all think I'm gonna do this? Y'all think y'all gonna get reactions out of me still? You think you're gonna hype me up and just listen? You don't control me, all right? I control me. I'm the connection. I'm the key.
Yeah, I hung up. I couldn't take any more, guys. There you go. Trey Melton with the call. Sorry, you disconnected. Thank you, Trey, out there for calling in. Something happened with my service. Let's catch up with chat. Von Blue says, first off, let me catch up with the donations. The $5 by Hito PR1 says, my bad, theater boy. And then he also says, with the $4.99, does this pick work better for you, gangster? I guess, Trey, let us know if you like the profile picture that Hito picked. Scory says, I'm not going to lie, Miller. I don't think people don't care about Cheeto Vera at all. If Cheeto and Sean fight, I am probably going to not watch the card. I don't think Vera is a big enough draw. I think it'll be, I don't know. Am I being delusional in a sense? Because I feel like it's an easy way to promote the fight. They fought before. For the casuals that don't watch the UFC, they fought before. Marlon Vera got the win, but you can show the replay of how maybe it was a fluke. Let's set it back up. Vera's coming off a win. Sean O'Malley's a champ. This is his first fight after having a highlight of a performance with the knockout against Sterling. I think people are going to want to see if it's a fluke fight or not, Scory. And is it just because I'm a diehard fan, or am I being delusional or not? Let's just be honest. 267-545-8096. You can call in and share your thoughts on Sean O'Malley, whether he's the biggest star. Von Blue says, Jesus, bro, almost took 10 minutes. Ray Melendez with the $5. He says, where's that 20? I would be surprised. I would be appalled. I would be genuinely grateful to receive the $20 because at this point it should have some interest and he should owe like $37.50. Dude is the Fed, says A-Rod. Is he not considered a counter striker or am I wrong? He is. He's very much so. That's why they call his fights boring, because if someone's not pushing the pace, he's just gonna sit back and land some leg kicks and cruise to a decision. So yes, I would say Izzy is a counter striker. You guys need to get a room, says Von Blue. Trey says stuff, says shall we see what Trey does in behind closed doors on his free time? If people want to know what stuff he's kind of up to. Mike Dornan says, LOL Von. Absolutely, says Mike Dornan. I'm the captain now, says Way Weary. Welcome to the stream. I saw you here earlier today. You're here tonight. We appreciate your support. Great call, Trey. Or Troy, says Snipey. A-Rod says, do talk for 20 minutes, but he said nothing. Exactly how I feel, A-Rod. I thought I was the only one who caught it. I mean, Jesus, he, you know how Trey gets you? He goes, let me tell you something, Miller. And then he'll be like, you know what I was thinking? And then I came to the conclusion, and he uses these little phrases and it takes him 25 minutes to get to his point. And you're just like, Jesus, man, get there. I'm wasting time. And I'm looking for the video of Trey. Let's see if I can find it. Man, the Discord be popping. You can head over to the Discord and join the community and talk to us about fighting. I'm scrolling. We see Von Blue in England, I believe, or in London. Pictures of me, and I'm almost there. Trey Melton. He talks about Cheeto Vera and Ian Gary in the shower, but this guy might be weirder than
It's been a long day, but I'm hanging in there, okay?
That's who's calling in. For the record, for those that are wondering. Trey Mountain says, viewers skyrocketed when I hopped on. What's new? You mean it went up when you got off? Show's over, y'all. You can leave now. I'm done. Hey, is that Trey on the profile pic? It is Von Blue. You can join the Discord today. Let's go. Let me catch up with chat. Join us on Discord. Yes. What's your thoughts on O'Malley calling out Tank? Listen, Conor McGregor was calling out Floyd Mayweather for a while before it actually happened. It's very normal to see nowadays more and more MMA fighters fight YouTube stars or boxers. I don't want to see Gervonta Davis versus Sean O'Malley. I mean, Sean O'Malley did say, listen, that's going to happen. And he said, people doubted me that I would become champ, and that happened. Do I want to see that happen? No. Would the UFC be behind it? Maybe. Will there be enough interest for it? Perhaps. I could do without it. Gervonta Davis is a different animal. He is like 5'5", and Sean O'Malley is like 6'1". But nonetheless, don't want to see it. Tank is too special. Boxing is a whole different animal. Gotcha Girl says, Trey must be a prisoner of the moment to call Sean the best counter striker in the UFC when Izzy is still in the UFC last time I checked. I mean, Max Holloway is still out there. Izzy is still out there. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is still out there. I know he had an impressive knockout against Aljamain Sterling, but that's essentially against a striker. To call him the best counter striker in the world right now, it is a little bit premeditated, but that's what Trey does. Von Blue says, bro went from Lil White from 3-6 Mafia to Hank Williams Jr. This guy is an absolute savage. 267-545-8096. How long have we been live? We've been live for 55 minutes. We'll be live probably for about 5 more minutes before we get out of here. All I'm saying is, back to the picture. Nobody still has proven to me that there's enough that you can match up 2 fighters in a division and that it'll sell better than Cheeto Vera versus Sean O'Malley. Still, I'm not convinced. John Jones versus Stipe doesn't do better. I'm the one that brought it up because nobody else has brought up a good matchup. Izzy versus Dricus, that does better. Besides that, what fights do better than Sean O'Malley against Cheeto Vera? If you can't name me some, I think that kind of proves my point of why Sean O'Malley is the best, or the face at least, of the UFC. Let's catch up with chat. Facts Von, hit that subscribe donations. Yes, that's my thing. Cool. I think I caught up with everything. Back to my original point. Sean O'Malley, this is one of his quotes. He says, just the way he acts, he's so annoying. He's not funny and he tries to be. He's so ugly, dresses like an idiot. It's like, God, do I really have to give this guy an opportunity? Let's pause there. He doesn't have to. And I've been thinking about this on my lonesome. So Hudo called Sean O'Malley a trans Barbie. And Sean O'Malley said it in his podcast, speaking of Cejudo and fighting him and potentially beating him in a more impressive fashion than Aljamain Sterling was able to do. With all that being said, is the smart money, or is there more money, more sales? Maybe the UFC has something up their sleeve and he picks Cejudo in conjunction with the UFC instead of Marlon Chito Vera. I saw you guys vote Vera at a 64%, so you guys have it high up there. I see Cejudo at a 14%. Essentially, the one that deserves it next, but he's out for a while, so that's why you can argue that he doesn't get the shot next, is Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen has done enough. He was willing to fight Umar Nurmagomedov until Umar got hurt. And he gets a win against Rafa. It was a little bit of a boring fight, so maybe that works against him. So Cejudo versus O'Malley, I think, is not the worst option. Maybe even a better option than Chito Vera. And then if O'Malley wins and puts out Henry Cejudo, I know I sound like somewhat of a fan here, but if he puts out Henry Cejudo after knocking out Aljamain Sterling, imagine what that does for his name when he's already a massive star. All I'm saying is I might start a petition saying, hey, pick Cejudo besides Vera. That might be the way to go. Maybe a female will talk to you now. Nice as though, Trey. I changed my pronouns for you, says Snipey. I got 2 kids and a fiance. Oh, good there, kid, says Hito. Still don't know if Snipey is a guy or a girl. Cejudo versus O'Malley will sell well. I agree, Von Blue. I bet you and him are very happy, says Trey. F around and find out, baby, says Snipey. Oh, my God. Damn, no lie. He does look like a trans Barbie. Yep, that's something that... And Sean O'Malley had a funny comeback. He's like, what if I am? What if I feel offended and now I don't give you a shot? Maybe that's the way to go. I've seen stranger things happen in the UFC. I wouldn't be majorly surprised. I wouldn't be all that way shocked if Cejudo gets a shot and jumps over. All we know is that Merab is not getting the shot. Is that fair to say? Merab is too dangerous of a fight. If you're a business like the UFC and you want to keep pushing Sean O'Malley, which is obviously what they're doing, you don't, by any stretch, give a shot to Merab. He's not a big enough name. He's going to try to spam takedowns the whole fight. It won't be that exciting. Maybe Cejudo tries to strike with Sean O'Malley. Hold on a second. Breaking news, breaking prediction. If Sean O'Malley is next and Cejudo, Sean O'Malley beats Henry Cejudo.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Is that fair to say? Maybe that's another conversation for discussion. There's my dryer again that infamously goes off in the morning and is now going off now. Sean O'Malley beats Cejudo. I would bet on that as well. Make some more money. Von Blue says Corey is a problem for O'Malley. Absolutely. And because of his injury, he's going to be out for a while. Sean O'Malley wants to fight in December. I think that's the fight we get next. Either Cejudo or Vera. We have another caller. Let's see who we have.
Call from
A-Rod.
Yo. Welcome to the stream. What's your name in the chat?
A-Rod. A-Rod 25.
Oh, A-Rod 25. What's up? Welcome to the stream, broski.
What up, bro?
You have 3 minutes on the clock. Talk to me.
I think you're right though about the Chito Vera and O'Malley. That's probably the best fight. Cejudo, I don't even understand how the fuck he's gonna get an opportunity. He retired, and then when he came back, his first fight he lost. So I don't even understand how he would get an opportunity to fight for the belt. That's crazy.
Let me make the argument for you, A-Rod. Sorry about my dryer in the background. Let me make an argument for you, A-Rod. If I'm the UFC, I'm thinking, The fight against Sterling was close. There's nobody else really available out there. Corey Sandhagen is hurt. Cejudo, at the end of the day, is a star, a former champion. With all that being said and being a veteran, maybe they give him the shot.
Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, though, I think Chito Vera probably has more of a chance to like make a better fight with him. Cejudo's gonna take it to the ground, but O'Malley, I don't know. How do you think he's gonna do on the ground?
I think he'll do well if he. Well, this is the thing with Cejudo. If you remember, Cejudo might be really good at taking the fight to the ground, but if you really think about it, he's not the best as far as his jiu-jitsu and going for submissions. So if he does take O'Malley, I don't know if he hurts him enough to like get a knockout or get a submission. I think O'Malley beats Cejudo.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that quote that you put up that O'Malley says, saying that why does he have to give Vera a chance, another shot? I think to me that sounds like O'Malley's scared of him because he's in his head. Vera's in his head already. So other than that, like why not give him a chance? Why not try to redeem himself? With that loss and shit. That's crazy.
You think he's avoiding Vera and would who do you think Sean O'Malley would rather fight if not Chito Vera?
Probably Sandhagen shit. Other than fighting Sterling again, I don't know. Because for him not to want to redeem himself with Vera, that to me is crazy. Because any fighter that loses, like look at Earl Spence, he wants to fight fucking what's his face again after that loss
Crawford.
to redeem himself. So I mean, O'Malley for him to say that, I think he's ducking. He's ducking Vera.
So if you think he's ducking Vera, let me ask you this, A-Rod. If that fight were to be announced, you had to bet on the fight, money on the line, would you pick Vera or O'Malley? Remember, they fought before.
I'm gonna say Vera by decision. I'm gonna say by decision for sure because they're both gonna be cautious. They're not gonna be swinging for the fences, and Vera definitely ain't gonna be fucking making no rookie mistake like Sterling did.
We have a smart caller for once. Listen, I said it 7 months ago, A-Rod. I'm sorry that you had to listen to Trey. I'm sorry that you had to listen to Hito. Obviously, they don't know the sport well. Vera is not going to make the same mistakes. Yeah, he is a slow starter, but it's a 5-round fight. He carries power. He has knocked out names like Frankie Edgar and Dominic Cruz late in the fight. All I'm saying is that I could see O'Malley winning, but I can see Vera winning as well.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go the whole distance for sure. Because, like I said, they're going to be both cautious. They ain't going to be swinging for the fences. Maybe later on in the rounds, but not at first. So maybe they're going to be, like testing each other out at first for the first couple rounds. But I mean, other than that, I don't think Cejudo deserves a shot at the belt. That's crazy.
So you don't think there's any? Let's hypothetically say, A-Rod, one of my last questions for you. Let's hypothetically say that Vera for some reason can't fight in December, whether he doesn't, whether an injury happens or something like that. You don't think Cejudo is the first candidate, the first person that the UFC thinks of?
Yeah, they probably will give it to Cejudo, but I don't think he deserves it, bro. To be honest, I think if anything, they should give Sterling another chance to get the belt back.
Oh, that's another option, A-Rod, that I feel like we don't bring up enough. If he wants the rematch, he should get it, right? He's defended the belt about 4 to 5 times. He's just come. Now, he did get knocked out, so I could see people saying, well, he got knocked out, he doesn't deserve it. I think he does.
Yeah, because that's not how Sterling fights. But like how you said, he was trying to prove a point. He was trying to say, like, I can stick in there with the best of them. But I don't know. Like, to me, that's as rookie a mistake as you can get. Like, how are you gonna leave your chin up like that, bro? Like, that's crazy to me.
It was bad.
Like, I don't know. That to me was crazy. I don't understand it because, and he knew, like, he going into that fight, he knew how O'Malley can end a fucking fight with one shot. So like, how are you gonna fucking leave your chin up like that? That's crazy.
Terrible mistake, man. Leaving your chin up like that, striking with someone that's still fresh early in the fight, and you leave your chin open like that. Sean O'Malley had an opportunity and he took it. Any last final thoughts, A-Rod? This is the first time, by the way, that A-Rod calls in. So Farquhar Emos in the chat for my guy A-Rod. Any last thoughts, man?
Yeah, chopped cheese is better than Philly steak, bro.
Wow, the disrespect. Thank you for the call, A-Rod. Appreciate you, broski.
Hey, yeah, stay grinding, bro. Stay grinding.
Appreciate you, man. We'll do, man. Thank you for the call. A-Rod25 in the building. Beautiful, beautiful call. We're getting more callers. We're getting more viewership. We're able to educate people like Trey Melton and Hito in the chat. So it's beautiful to see. Plugs is in the building. What's up, Plugs? Let's see what else we have here. Snoop. O'Malley ain't fighting Cejudo next, says Mike Dornan. You don't think it's possible if for some reason Vera can't fight? Trey, how are you showing ass online? Stop the cap. How many times did it take you to get it right? Says Hito. Ice season, I'm sorry, says, I think O'Malley will fight Cejudo next. Interesting. O'Malley was clowning Cejudo on his Snapchat story, so I think he's ready. Good point, Ice Season. I'm sorry that I got to your message so late. They have been going back and forth, not only on his Snapchat, in his podcast that I heard the last episode that Sean O'Malley came out with. He was talking about Cejudo a lot. Maybe they're trying to test the waters and see, man, what do the people want to see more? Cejudo or Vera? Maybe we're not quite sure if Vera actually gets a shot next. What if Sterling wants the rematch? I think it's early. I think we might even be surprised to see what happens next. Snoop does deserve his flowers for showing love to O'Malley in the beginning. Remember, since the days he was commentating, he showed a lot of love to O'Malley. I remember him saying, O'Malley, if you remember that episode. Corey is a problem for O'Malley. He needs to stay away from him. Corey has all the skills when it comes to the striking. My problem with Corey is I don't know if he has enough power to keep O'Malley away from him. And that's the problem. If they're both essentially good at striking, but O'Malley lands the bigger shots, I think it might be somewhat of a problem. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, though. Back from 1987, says Hito, PR1. He said Cheeto's name for a reason. Why not Marab, Henry, Sandhagen? He has been talking about Cejudo a lot, though, Mike Dornan, especially on his podcast. He talked about Cejudo quite extensively, actually, Mike Dornan. So all I'm saying is that we might be pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't mind the Cejudo fight. The UFC will five him if he wants if they want to. They love. I mean, listen, to put the fight out the day after, few hours after the fight finished of a pay-per-view fight. I mean, tell me you're trying to build a fighter without telling me you're trying to build a fighter. Plugs in the building again. Beta Quest in the building again as well too. That's another man that I just teach him so much about fighting. What's up, Beta? How you doing today, bro? I hope you enjoyed that Jordan Peterson clip that I sent you. Now I'd say Vera is given the shot. I'd say he would rather fight Vera than any of the others I mentioned. I would say if we had to make a list on the potential next fights for Sean O'Malley and what's the most realistic, I think you put Vera right at the top of the list. I think right under that you put Cejudo. I say you maybe even put right under that Aljamain Sterling if he wants the shot. So I agree. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. Where's my boy Whale? Haven't talked to him in a minute. He comes in here on and off. I got to reach out to him, see what's up. He might even still be a member, which is the crazy part. I think O'Malley beats Vera. But if my MMA math is right, says Beta, Sandhagen has the best chance at winning this. Why do you say because of your MMA math, it's Corey that has the best shot, Beta? If you could please explain. Sean beats Cheeto. It could be close. 18-0 says Plugs. He has a loss on his record, Plugs, and that was due to Marlon Cheeto Vera. Beta, I said the same about Sandhagen. Corey is going to give him hell. He's going to give him a lot of different angles. He does use a lot of lateral movement. I think it'll be a good fight. Hey, shout out to Miller for the double stream in a day. Think we can get this every Monday? I say absolutely. This is what I love to do. We've seen that ever since we dropped off Trey Melton. The numbers have just been skyrocketing. We're doing better. We have a morning and a night podcast on Mondays. 2 shorts today that are over 1,000 views. I think they're both over 2,000. I think ever since we got Trey out of here, I think we just been doing phenomenal. Now, all jokes aside, appreciate Trey. I probably joke around too much, but let's do this every Monday. On Monday morning and Monday evening. I think this is the way to go. Maybe we could talk some more boxing in the evening as well too. Haven't seen Well in a while. The Farquhar emotes in the chat. O'Malley definitely says the N-word, says Ice Season. That could very well be debatable. Chopped cheese is a knockoff of Philly cheesesteak. A-Rod made sure that he would throw a jab before he got out of here, right? He knows I'm out here in Philadelphia and just took a shot. Vaughn, I just think Sandhagen is much better at distance management. I mean, man, Sterling had one of the worst distance management moments. He just, again, chin up in the air. I don't know what he was thinking against a counter puncher in O'Malley. I think he has a much better distance management than O'Malley, and that says a lot. Not only that, too, hold on. Nobody has mentioned that he's Corey Nurmagomedov Sandhagen right now. His middle name is Nurmagomedov. With all the takedowns he got against Rafa, he might implement that a little bit against Sean O'Malley. And maybe you might be right. Corey Sandhagen could be potentially a nightmare of a stylistic matchup for Sean O'Malley, because he doesn't only have to worry about the striking anymore. Sandhagen has been going for takedowns a lot as well, too. With all that being said, Sandhagen is dealing with an injury, and the UFC is probably not going to make that fight happen next because of how dangerous it is. I think arguably the two fighters that have the least chance at getting a shot at the title, and again, it's because it's not meritocracy, is Merab and Corey Sandhagen. I don't think they're going to get a shot anytime soon because they're going to want to, push the star that they have in their hands right now. But when it comes to Cejudo, when it comes to Chito Vera, I can see Sean O'Malley winning. I season, bruh. Sandhagen would be epic. Length, orthodox, power, and well-rounded. And yeah, he switches stances. The power, not so much. I know we've seen like flying knee knockouts, like or was it the front kick against Frankie Edgar? I think it was a flying knee. Yeah, he has power, but not so much. Speaking of Corey Sandhagen, Zoom loop incoming, says Snipey. Yo, Ice Season. We dumped the bum and got the recognition. To be quite honest, guys, let me let you in on a little secret. Plug says, keep the grind going, Miller, right? The wife today, love my wife like a fat kid loves cake. In other words, love my wife like Trey Melton loves cake. The wife went to the mother-in-law's house, and she was hanging out with her family over there. She was practically gone all day. So I had nothing better to do than to work on content. Didn't have to watch the kids. They had a good time over there. I might be saying, babe, listen, have fun over there. I got 2 shorts done, 2 podcasts done, a bunch of subscribers, a bunch of followers on TikTok. I'm just honestly happy in the direction this is going. And me and Heath were talking about this outside the stream. Like, he was like, bro, like, treat this like a work day, right? And we've been saying that as well too, but treat this like a work day. You can't do nothing but work on content, essentially, right? That's kind of what we did today. Last week I had a dentist appointment, things of that nature. Anyways, with all that being said, we were able to work today and we're seeing the results. We need to do this every Monday. That being said, that being podcast, 2 podcasts, and then shorts and whatever else I could do. So thank you for the encouragement, plugs, and everybody else in chat. What's up, Miller? Just got my butt kicked today at boxing training. How did it go, man? Let's go. 999. Maybe we'll see one of his amateur fights live on stream one of these days. And you being the wizard, 999, you haven't called in for a prediction in a while. What's going on? We're gonna need one for UFC 293, all right? He deserves it more than Cheeto, I'd say. We forgetting about Merab. Listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. For starters, I agree with you. Merab deserves it more than Cheeto Vera, but he's not gonna get the shot. He's a stablemate, a training partner with Aljamain Sterling. His style doesn't suit well for Sean O'Malley right now. You know that if you're the UFC, I'm not saying it's fair, Mike Dornan, but you know the UFC isn't going to take that risk. They're not. Merab is not getting the shot no matter what. And I don't know if you guys seen. I'm a stalker online. I don't know if you guys seen Merab's Twitter. Let me see if I could bring it up for you real quick. Where is it? Let me see. If Sean O'Malley ducks Alger for a rematch, and I want to be his skinny ass for the belt, you're not going to get the shot, buddy. But that's not the tweet I'm referring to. This is the tweet I'm referring to. Another early stoppage. Effing early stoppage. I pray that me or my teammates don't have Mark Goddard in the cage again. It wasn't an early stoppage. We are fighters. Let us fight till the end. It was just going to be more brain trauma. Look how many likes. This is a response to Merab. No need for a referee when you fight. It's always a decision. Speaking of Merab, clips of him getting choked out. Definitely going to wait 2 years for a title shot with tweets like this, says Paulie. Then another clip of Merab getting his ass beat. more pictures of Sean. Merab isn't it's safe to say, a fan favorite. He's not getting Cope extra strength. He's not gonna get the shot anytime soon. Let's just be honest. So, Mike Dornan, I hope I don't sound like a UFC fanboy, because I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying it is what it is. He's not gonna get the shot next because that's the way the UFC works. Jose Aldo didn't get a rematch against Conor. I saw Von Blue earlier. You said the Conor McGregor comparison. Basically, you said something along the lines of it isn't accurate, it isn't correct, it isn't fair. I'm here to tell you it's 100% correct. It's almost identical. Sean O'Malley knocking out Aljamain Sterling was almost identical in replay value and the significance for both fighters. It was almost identical to the Conor McGregor Jose Aldo. I think that's fair to say. So Cheeto versus O'Malley, UFC 296, and Sandhagen versus O'Malley, UFC 301. Will 296 be like in December? Will it? Wow. And man, they might put on Sean O'Malley on UFC 300 as well too. Just because it's a big number. 999. I wouldn't mind seeing that though. Beta Quest says Merab and Sandhagen are both out for injury. There you go. Well, yeah, I was alluding to their injury earlier. It leaves Cejudo and Cheeto. All I'm saying, and I'm not too sure it's gonna be Cheeto next. My guess is the UFC isn't happy with Cheeto's last 2 outings, and they see this as a chance to ice Cejudo. If they ice Cejudo, who do you think the next opponent will be? And they see this as a chance to ice Cejudo. Because if they put him on the shelf, and if Cheeto's out and Merab is out and Sandhagen, are you saying the Sterling rematch? What are you saying, Beta Quest? Who gets the shot next? Because I think the top 2 candidates are Cejudo and Cheeto. 999, get that work. Get it, 999. Yeah, 999 put in some training in there. So Cheeto versus O'Malley. Yep. Makes sense now, Beta. Didn't know about Merab's injury. Yes, Merab injury. He's not going to get the shot even if he wasn't injured. Corey Sandhagen, the same thing. Miller, you're a hell of a father, hell of a husband and father. I appreciate you, Von Blue, man. Nothing better. I love doing this stuff, but nothing better than being a father, man, and a husband. I'm truly blessed, man. I'm truly blessed, man. I can't complain. Shout out to you, Von Blue. Fantasy Football League in Discord. Von Blue, do you like fantasy football? Because we're looking for a few more people, but only people from the chat. Anybody else that might be a fan of fantasy football, let us know. We have 4 names. Maybe Von Blue, you could be 5, and maybe we could get one more. Von, why'd I read that in Mayweather's voice? What did he say? Miller, you're hell of a fighter. Yeah. Beta, I know exactly what you're alluding to. Every time Floyd Mayweather is asked about a fighter, he goes, hell of a fighter. I mean, fights for his family, hell of a fighter. That's the only comparison or compliment that Floyd gives. That is one of the funniest things you said, low key. Nah, son, you're off, says Von Blue. Not to flex, but I went 11-1 on the pay-per-view. I went 10-2. So listen, if you're starting to get into my territory of 10-2, 11-1, I would say plugs. Congratulations to you. Welcome aboard. Hand surgery, Mike. He backed out of his talks with Cejudo because of it. Conor was already a crazy star before that Aldo fight. Yeah, but it made him a global superstar. I think it's fair to say, maybe I might be a little off, but he became, his name elevated like tenfold after that knockout. Is that still not fair? Am I still overselling it? I know OG like myself been watching this sport when you had your first crush, says Von Blue. Snipey, I'm down. Let's go. There we go. Von, DM me on Discord. I'll get you in. Perfect. Read Beta comment after that. Did I miss something? I saw the Floyd one. Why'd I read that in Oh, you know, I read that was hell of a fighter. Bro, you could only hear it in Floyd's voice. We can use one more if anyone is down. Yes, one more. We have Von Blue, me, Snipey, 999, Hito. One more would be great. Even numbers would be great. No, I mean, they put Cejudo in there so he can lose. Oh, got you. A close decision to have him retire with no wins on his return. I mean, what a better outcome for the UFC, right? If they were writing scripts. I think that's fair to say, Beta. So, yes. Listen, my next short might be, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Sean O'Malley is having more and more back and forth with Henry Cejudo. Don't be surprised if Henry Cejudo jumps the line. Cheeto doesn't get the shot. I mean, he's had 2 bad performances back-to-back. Wins, but not the best. Or no, not even wins. He lost to Corey Sandhagen. Then he beat Pedro in a debatable. Don't be surprised if Cejudo, who fought Sterling And look at the story. I mean, yes, you can say it was a fluke win against Chito Vera for Sean O'Malley, and then this will make him look good if he wins. But wouldn't it look better for Sean O'Malley if he fights Cejudo, knocks him out, and not only did he beat Sterling, but he beat Cejudo in a fashion better than Sterling was able to do? All I'm saying is that's very well possible. Niner again, Mike, I got you. Let's go. If I knew anything about American football, I would. Oh, man. Yeah, because we could use another. Fantasy soccer, I don't know enough about the sport to do something like that, City. Welcome to the stream, though. American football. The knockout itself may be identical to Conor, but Conor's resume up until the Aldo fight was definitely better. He was knocking people left and right. Yes. I might be a little bit off on that one. I might have to admit. Plus, as Aldo's 10-year record gone in 13 seconds just hit different. Wow. I mean, you put it in somewhat of a perspective, gotcha, girl. I'm a little bit upset. Thank you, gotcha, girl. You're right. You're right. I might have been exaggerating a little bit. I might have been prisoner of the moment because, yes, Aldo had a 10-year record. He looked practically unbeatable. Sterling has been winning, but he hasn't looked unbeatable, right? Against Dillashaw was hurt. Against Jan in the first one, he was losing before the DQ. And in the rematch, it was close. So, and against Cejudo, it was still close. So that knocking out him instead of Aldo, and Aldo being arguably one of the best featherweights in history, I think that might be a little bit above Sean O'Malley's knockout. That's fair to say. Even though Conor McGregor compared both knockouts for the record. Mike, I don't know anything either. Let's effing go anyway. F the world, says Snipey. If they don't make the Cheeto and Sean fight for 296, then they should make Henry versus Sean for UFC 200. Plugs, you called the head kick for Leon Edwards versus Usman. Don't be surprised if you hit the nail on the head again, and you're right about that. Or all good, City. Listen, guys, I've been live over an hour, and that flew. Thank you for the live callers. You guys really make the show. You guys make the show. You guys make the show. I didn't know what I was trying to say after that. You guys make the show because it leads to conversation. We have a good back and forth. I'm sorry that Trey Melton took like 10 minutes of this podcast because he didn't really have anything of essence of significance to say, but nonetheless he did call in. Thank you, Hito, for calling in, and shout out to A-Rod for calling in for his first time today. I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate your guys' support. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up if you're new here. We'll be back maybe this weekend for the UFC fight night, but we're going to be doing this every Monday morning and Monday evening. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. You'll be seeing content from me, videos and shorts throughout the week, so make sure you hit the bell for post notification and comment on those because they help the channel grow. Miller, join the new link. Put it in Discord. I'll make sure to do so. God bless everybody. Good night. Eddie, this was a lot of fun, man. Appreciate you hanging out. Were you here from the beginning? I appreciate you, broski. Feel free to call in one of these days, and you've been coming in the morning, so shout out to you, Eddie Rodriguez, for coming through the stream and just supporting, man. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep growing the channel. Mike Dornan says, UFC love O'Malley so much, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him a shot at champ straight away. I don't think he wants anything to do with people at 145, though, unless there's somebody else that holds the title. Maybe Volkanovski vacates or he leaves. You might be right, though, Mike Dornan. And he's pretty big for 135. You might see him go up in weight eventually. I'm sure the weight cuts are tough. You stay killing the Miller. Thank you so much, Eddie. I appreciate you, man. Glad Trey's back to floor. All jokes aside, I love that Trey is back. It was one of the funniest calls. He's a staple of the show. I'll admit that, but I'll probably delete me saying that later. Eddie, fantasy football. Anybody else that likes fantasy football, let us know. Join the Discord. It is... the links are over there. It would be great to have someone else, the Instagram, the Twitter, and consider becoming a member today. If you can't, just you being here and hanging out is enough. But if you become a member, it helps me make a dream come true, as cheesy as that may sound. I'm out of here. Much love. God bless. Good night. Peace.